Okay, so today we're going to fill in some more cracks with mortar repair. Yeah. So when I started this project several years ago, it was just one light bulb in this room, and it was kind of dark. So a lot of my early videos, oh, they are dark. You can barely see what I'm doing. And well, I just added a whole bunch of new lighting to this room and the other room. And well, the entire basement is now lit where you can see most everything except for the furnace. But you're gonna go along your wall. If you're trying to fill cracks, and this is mortar repair that I have in here, concrete mortar repair. So that's what that's for, is to just kind of repair some cracks. And you do have some cracks here still, because when I did this before, it was dark and I couldn't see them. So I guess the first step before you start doing any of this is get lighting in the area you're going to be working. Because I already did this room years ago, and once I got the lighting in here, I was like, oh, I missed a bunch. We'll show you. And what I'm working on is right, kind of like this right here. You got a little bit of a crack there in the mortar. Keeps on going down. That mortar goes all the way through the block. So I don't know if there's air coming in through here or not, but there potentially could be. And we can see if we look up here. I mean, that was crumbling. Looks like I missed a small hole right there, and maybe a little bit there. That looks like a hole there as well. So I mean, there was some that I missed because I couldn't see. Couple. Actually, another crack even over there. And more cracks. Everywhere there's cracks. So we're gonna go ahead and try to get these filled up, right? Try to get these put in here. Because right here we can see there's a crack there, which could potentially allow air in. A little crack there that could potentially allow air in. Crack along the whole thing here that could potentially allow air in. Chances are it doesn't go all the way through. Chances are it's not that bad. But the idea here is to get as much of this filled in as we can, so that we can reduce the amount of air that potentially comes in. And I don't care if it goes through not all the way or not. That's not my point, right? My point is to reduce it if it is. Even if it's not, I still want to reduce. So you just squeeze gently on your caulk gun as you move it along, and that'll put your caulking out onto the area. We're going to fill some of these other holes that we've noticed as well. And I'm trying to fill pit marks too, so like this pit mark here, it's not that deep. I'm not going to worry about that. There's a crack right there. There's a little pit mark. Probably flush that over just to have that done. So we're going to get the rest of this done here, and then, well, yeah, we'll do. So once you get it on there, and this is why you wear the gloves, you just kind of smooth it in to the spots that you're trying to cover up, trying to work in to the hole there. We're just going to smooth that over and try to get that as nice as we can to make sure that we cover up any crack that may be there. That way we can block any air that might be getting through that. The nice thing about doing this yourself is you don't have to worry about time. You don't have to worry about being completely proficient or getting it done quickly. You can really take your time and get it nice. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because none of this has to be perfect. I mean, clearly, whenever I did this a couple years ago, several years ago actually, it's been close to like 9 years. um, 9 years since I started working on the basement. So, of course, I got the majority of the basement done. It's just these 2 rooms off to the side I haven't finished yet. So one thing you will notice if you're in your basement working on something like this, you'll notice it's going to start getting warmer. Slightly. I mean, a degree or 2 means a lot. And you're not really like jumping around or moving around, so it's not that, oh, you're expending energy, so you're getting warmer that way. No, you're really just, at least me, I'm going slow. I'm not in any hurry. Now you may question why I'm wanting to do the inside wall, which is another room over there. I mean, this wall is probably 60 degrees. It's not cool at all. This outside wall is a little bit cooler, but this wall's not. Here's my reason for this. Okay, it could be yours too. You're doing home improvement yourself. You're not going to get it all done in one day. If you're like me, and it takes you years to get stuff done because you work too much, you do too many, you do too much with YouTube, you do too much stuff. So you don't have time to get it all done in a day or a week, or even in one cold season. In the summertime, you don't want to be down here doing this because you got stuff to do outside. So if I get this wall done, or at least the cracks filled in it, right? And I don't get over, and I don't get the other room done, the big room done. I don't get it. All the holes filled in, and it's still colder than this room, which right now it is. It's it's a bit colder than this room. But even if I don't get that done, filling these holes here, any cracks here that may be allowing some of that air to come in, is going to still work to warm this room up. Now that whole big room, all that air in there, even though maybe some air, cool air may be coming in from outside, that whole room is insulation at this point because it's just air, it's just empty space. So yeah, it's already warming the air up by creating this huge space without having the extra cold from outside hitting it. So it is warmer than the air that would come through the wall. But it's still colder than this room. So if I want this room to warm up even more, it's not going to be much, but we'll go ahead and do this wall just to help increase that. That way if I don't get that room done, I at least get some of the benefit of having this room mostly done. I just saw a huge crack out there.
Okay, when you're done with that, I mean, this room is done. I did those yesterday with 1, 2. Got these done today with maybe 3/4 of a tube. And a little bit, maybe a little bit of the same here. I mean, you could, if you really wanted to, you could use hydraulic cement. I don't think these cracks are quite big enough for that. I mean, it would make it a little more structurally, better. I mean, a little bit better. It'll get into the crack and then expand to fill that crack. But we're not using it to try to reinforce the wall or make the wall sturdy, because the wall is sturdy enough as it is. It's not being pushed in. It's just cracked from age. This house is 105 years old. So a lot of these cracks were probably in the first 5 or 10 years just from the house settling. So it's been a long time that this basement has been leaking air. No, I guess taking in cold air. But I've only been in the house for 15 years, so I did the first bit of this probably 10 years ago. So just didn't have the lighting down here to be able to see the wall and to see most of the cracks. So a lot of the cracks I filled this time were smaller cracks than I had last time. I mean, there was a couple decent sized cracks in the walls, which would be where the majority of your savings will go. But like I said, I mean, $2. I think those things were like $2 when I bought them. I don't know what they are now. They could be $10. I don't know. But I think they were $2 when I bought them, and so I got less than $4 this time around in this room. Now, to me, it feels warmer. But then again, the heater just kicked back on, right? So, it is what it is. But, so the next step for this room is going to be the painting. And we're going to use dry lock, and that'll, since it's latex-based paint, and help prevent water from seeping in. Now, I haven't had water in this room in years, okay? I regraded outside the house. I did everything that I could do to prevent, because I only have a little bit of water coming in the basement. But I did everything I could to try to prevent that. And for years, I haven't had the floor like wet. I've had some water around the bottom of the furnace, but as I found out recently, my plug was plugged. My drain valve, my drain plug was plugged up. So probably from that. Yeah, this room used to actually get a bit wet in the wintertime, or spring and fall. But it was just like maybe that far away from the wall where it was just wet, damp. So yeah, okay. That was the worst of it. I mean, it wasn't like, water, okay? Flowing water in. It was just damp. So, yeah, that dry lock when I put it up. Now we're putting it up to fill in any holes I missed that I can't see. That's why we're using the latex paint, right? Is to fill up any holes that we don't see. That way, less air coming in, or at least the potential for less air coming in. And then, okay, so it has a water protective thing where it might prevent that little bit of water that I used to get, okay? A little bit of, damp concrete along the one wall. Okay, it'll probably more than likely prevent that if I hadn't already fixed it. But I did fix it, so, but that's okay. If it fails, if for some reason we get a crap ton of water and we're gonna get some dampness, that dry lock will solve that problem before it becomes a problem. Got a lot of flack on that. Weird. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I hope this helped you out a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be perfect at all, guys. If you're doing it yourself, and with what I'm doing down here, I don't care what I miss. Because like I said, I got this, that's my first line. And then I'm going to have the dry lock, my second line. And then I'm going to have my radiant shield. But you know what? It's a sheet, right? It's a sheet, not a plastic sheet. It's a shield, so I can wrap it around. That's going to prevent air from coming in and out. Plus, it has like an R5 value, R3 I think maybe. And then wrap another layer on top and tape between them. Therefore, no air penetrating. Right? Oh, bada bing, bada boom, right? Simple. Then we frame the wall and then we insulate the wall. We've already completely stopped the air at that point. So anything I missed here will be resolved in the next step or two. So I'm not worried.